So we're going to continue our skinning from the last tutorial. So let's start off by taking a look at the foot. What I'm going to do is just hide all the joints. So we're only looking at these nerve controllers. So if I go ahead and select this nerves controller for the foot, what I'm going to do is on frame 10 you can see everything is already keyed. So if I go ahead and I move this to frame 0, and again that it doesn't really matter, it's just as long as you can scroll. I'm going to go ahead and rotate the foot back like this, okay? So you can kind of see how that goes. And I'm also going to move the foot forward. So what this essentially is what we would do if our character was taking a step. Okay? So that doesn't look terrible, but what you'll notice is some of the verts from here are being pulled, and I'm not terribly concerned with that now, because what I'm going to do is when I go over to skin that side, I'm going to use the exact same setup. Okay, so let's take a look at this foot. So when you're skinning, you really want to compartmentalize your areas. Notice how the back of this foot is sort of being pulled as well by that side of his body. So let's tackle that chunk by chunk. I'm going to go ahead and select this guy, and I'm also going to take a look at how my toe roll works. So if I pull this down, what I'm noticing again is that it's pulling this pants leg. I don't want that. As I push up, it's also pulling the back of the foot here. Okay, so let's go ahead and zero all of this out, and let's take a look at how we can best fix that. So let's go ahead and delete this key as well. Alright, so first things first is if we look at our joints, I want this toe bone to control all of the verts from this center line here forward. So what I'm going to do is turn off X-ray mode and just make sure that I can't select joints here or curves. I'm going to right click and go to vertex mode. I'm going to select all of these verts in the front, and then I'm going to fire up my component editor. So general editor, component editor, I'm going to go ahead and add that here. And what I'm noticing here is right off the bat, this is the left side of his body, so I don't want the right ball to be controlling anything. But I do want the left ball of the foot to be controlling the majority of this. So first I'm going to select that left ball, and I'm going to enter a 1 here. And I'm going to remove left ankle. I don't want the ankle controlling it. And again, you really just want to kind of use common sense. Why would the ankle bone, and think about your own body, why would your ankle bone control your toes when you're sort of moving and stuff? Okay, so let's go ahead and test that out. I'm going to go ahead and select my toe pivot. I'm going to move that, my toe roll. And you can see that bends a lot better. Now, remember what I told you before, that rule. And let's go to our side view and take a look. If a edge is falling right on top of a bone, we share that 50-50. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to edge mode. Let's go to perspective, take off X-ray mode. I'm going to double click this edge, then I'm going to hold Control and right click and go to vertices. Now again, what you're noticing here is my left knee is controlling these verts as well, which is what I don't want. All I want is my left ankle, which is here, and the left ball of my foot to control this 50-50. So I definitely don't want the right ball, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and give the left ball of my foot, which is that area, 100% control. And then I'm going to get rid of any control to the knee. And then I'm going to give my left ankle 0.5 control. Then go back to my left ball, enter 0.5 there. Alright, let's test that again and see how that looks now. Let's see, toe roll. That looks a lot better. Now as I roll the ball of my foot, notice how the whole back part of his foot is moving up and down as well, and it's becoming disoriented. So what I'm going to do here, uncheck this, I'm going to right click, go to vertex mode, and select all of the verts on the back of this side of the foot. Here. And because they're not on a 50-50 spot, I want it all on my left ankle. So let's go ahead and enter 1 there. And I'm just going to go ahead and zero out these guys. And I definitely don't want my right knee controlling that. Alright, let's test that again. So because I gave all of that control to the left ankle, when I go to move this around, I shouldn't get any movement in the back of the foot. Which I don't, which is nice. So I get a nice hard edge there. And to be honest with you, I don't mind it pulling a little bit against that top of his pants leg there. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out our foot roll and see what that did for us. So it looks pretty good, and it's nice and hard. And the bone itself, what you'll notice is it bends up a little bit anyway. So if you want the foot to be completely flat like this, you kind of have to play with those settings. And that looks really good too. What you can do is, again, if you just kind of want him to go a little bit up on the ball of his foot, you can do something like that. And then you could play with toe roll and kind of push that toe down just a little bit. Alright, let's zero that out. It looks pretty good. Alright, let's move up. Remember my rule, because it's these verts here are sitting completely on the left knee, I'm going to weight that 100%. Oops, let's make sure that's 1. And then I don't want the hip, and I don't want the left ankle or right knee controlling this at all. Alright, now again, I'm going to go to edge mode, control right click to vertices, and I want this 50 between the left hip. So let's go ahead and make the left hip control 100%, then the left knee 0.5. Alright, and then for the rest of these guys, and again, I'm holding control here to do this. I'm going to zero that out. So let's test that out now. And I'll move that up. You can see I get a nice bend. Looks pretty good. Now, this edge is going to be a harder edge because we haven't went in and added incrementally done anything yet with these verts. We gave that edge 100%, and we gave this one 50-50. And we're going to go in and I'm going to show you how to sort of tweak these so you get nice curvatures and stuff. But for now, I'm 100% okay with this. Alright, moving up, let's go to our front view here. Select these verts. I want my left hip to weight this 100%. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of this weighting. Same thing here, I'm going to select all these verts, left hip, 100%. Alright. Now this edge here, that these hip bones fall on here, what we want to do is we want to sort of weight this, the majority of it's 0.75% here and 25% to the root. Okay, or actually the other way around, because we get a lot of bend at the hip area, which is about here, but we don't really get any bend up here. So we just kind of want to make this smooth. So I'm going to go to 2 vertices here. I'm going to deselect this side because I'm only working on this side right now. And for my root, I'm going to weigh that 100%. I don't want my spine controlling this at all, and I certainly don't want my right hip. Okay, so for my left hip, I'm only going to give that 0.25. Actually, it looks like I deselected that. So let's go back. Let's open up our 15Skin weights tool. And I'm going to select my left hip. And remember what we had before. We want 100% opacity and a value of 0.1. And I'm just going to click that 3 times. Alright. Let's see how that looks. See how we get a nice bend, but it's still kind of a harder edge. And the thing we did with the paint weights tool is what we're going to do back here too for the cup of the leg. Alright, it looks pretty good. Same thing for the shirt. At this point, let me go ahead and double click each side. I want to weight this 100% to his root. So let's go to vertices. Let's check out our smooth skin in the component editor. And here's our root. I want that 100%. I'm going to go ahead and zero these out. Alright, so let's weigh this. We get a nice bend. The root's not controlling the hip area at all, which is nice. And I want it to sort of fold in like that. Looks pretty good. Okay, so what I want to do at this point is I'm going to go back to 10, so I make sure that it's all straightened out. And I'm going to select here. I'm going to go to Skin, Edit Smooth Skin, Mirror Skin Weight. So I'm going to open the tool up. We want to go positive to negative, and we want to go across the YZ axis. I'm going to go ahead and apply. And so let's move this around. And what you'll notice is the weights are copied over from the other side. Let's check out the foot roll and see if that works. Yep, looks pretty good. See how it's nice hard edge. It's not perfect. We still have to do a little bit of cleanup. Let's check this side out. Looks pretty good. It actually did copy over that weight. We have to fix this little guy here. Alright. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean up the legs on my side. And the same way I did this side, I'm going to go in here and check out all the verts. Any areas that I missed, like this guy right here. You can go back into the component editor and you can see that it still has other things attached to it. So let's go ahead and make these 1. And then in the next video, we're going to go ahead and move our way up to skinning the fingers. But the way that we're gonna skin the fingers, and then we're actually going to create the fist controller.